listen to me. The very first step in disappearing and transforming yourself is this. You've got to be willing to let go of who you are right now. And I know that sounds scary. I know it sounds uncomfortable, but that's the point. Because if you keep holding on to the old version of yourself, you'll never have room to create the new one. You can't step into the future if both of your feet are planted in the past. And too many of us, we want transformation, but we don't want separation. We want change, but we don't want to release. You can't have it both ways. Think about it. Every single day, you carry around habits, attitudes, routines, and mindsets that are shaping your identity. Some of them are good. Some of them are killing you slowly. And the truth is, most of us are addicted to the comfort of who we've always been. That comfort feels safe, but it's really a prison. And if you're serious about disappearing and transforming, you've got to break out. Letting go of the old self means being brutally honest about what's no longer serving you. Maybe it's the circle of friends that only knows you as the jokester, the irresponsible one, the one who never takes anything serious. Maybe it's the environment you keep going back to, the one that pulls you into the same patterns over and over again. Maybe it's the little habits nobody sees, hitting the snooze button 5 times, scrolling on your phone at midnight, saying yes when you know you should have said no. You've got to confront it, because transformation doesn't happen in denial. Transformation only begins when you face the truth. Now, I'm not saying you've got to hate your old self. No. That version of you brought you this far. That version of you carried the weight, survived the storms, and taught you some valuable lessons. But if you're still living in that skin when it's time to shed, you're robbing yourself of your own evolution. Caterpillars don't fight to stay caterpillars. They surrender to the process, they let go. And that's how they become butterflies. You want wings, but you keep clinging to the ground. See, the danger is when you start making excuses for staying the same. That's just who I am. No, that's just who you've been. And as long as you keep protecting that identity, you're rejecting your transformation. Some of you are defending the very things that are destroying you. You say, I can't change. This is my personality. This is how I was raised. This is my environment. Stop. None of that defines where you're going. But it will chain you to where you've been if you don't let go. And letting go is going to cost you. Don't get it twisted. This is not easy work. When you decide to disappear and transform, people will question you. They'll say you're acting different. They'll say you're fake. They'll try to guilt you into shrinking back into the old version of yourself. But let me ask you, what's the point of staying the same just to keep everybody else comfortable? You're not here to keep people comfortable. You're here to become who you were called to be. And sometimes that means disappearing for a season. Sometimes that means stepping back from certain crowds, certain patterns, even certain versions of your own identity. You can't carry dead weight into your future. You can't carry that same negative self-talk, that same laziness, that same fear. You've got to bury it, because if you don't bury it, it will bury you. I need you to hear me on this. Transformation is not addition, it's subtraction first. Everybody wants to know, what can I add? What can I start doing? But before you start, you've got to stop. Before you add, you've got to release. Imagine carrying a suitcase that's already full of junk. You can't put anything new in it until you dump the old stuff out. Your life is the same way. If you want new habits, new opportunities, new relationships, new identity, you've got to clear out the old junk. And some of you, you're scared to let go because you don't know who you'll be without it. That's the beauty of transformation. You don't have to know yet. That's why we disappear. That's why we step back. Because in that space of release, you create room for reinvention. Don't be afraid of the empty space. That empty space is sacred. It's the soil where the new you grows. And I need you to commit to this with everything in you. Stop half-stepping. Stop saying you want change while holding on to the chains. Either you're ready or you're not. But if you're ready, you've got to let go. Every bad habit, every limiting belief, every toxic connection's got to go. This is your life we're talking about. This is your future. And if you keep letting the old version of you run the show, you'll keep living the same rerun over and over again. So today, I'm challenging you. Cut the cord. Let it go. Don't just talk about disappearing. Don't just dream about transformation. Take the first step, and that first step is release. Because until you release, you'll never rise. It's time to let go of who you were so you can finally become who you're meant to be. The next step in this journey, after you've let go of that old self, is to create space for reinvention. And let me tell you something, most of you want to transform, but you don't have any room for it. You're cluttered. Your life, your mind, your environment, it's jammed, packed with noise, distractions, and people who are keeping you tied down. And you keep saying you want to change, but where's the space for it? You can't put new furniture in a house that's already packed wall to wall with junk. Transformation requires space. See, disappearing is not about running away. It's about stepping back so you can breathe, so you can reset, so you can hear yourself again. Because the truth is, we're living in a world that never stops talking. Your phone is buzzing. Your friends want your time. Your job is demanding more from you than ever. And before you know it, you're drowning in obligations that have nothing to do with the person you want to become. And the reason some of you can't hear your own calling, can't hear your own voice, is because you've never given yourself silence. You've got to create space, and that means you've got to unplug. You've got to distance yourself from the noise. I don't care if it's for a weekend, a week, or a month. You've got to step back. And when you disappear like that, people are going to wonder where you went, why you're not as available, why you're not showing up in the same places. Let them wonder. You're not disappearing to prove something to them. You're disappearing to find something in you. And listen, I know what some of you are thinking. But if I step back, I'll miss opportunities. If I disappear, people will forget about me. That's fear talking. Real opportunities don't pass you by because you took time to prepare yourself. And the right people won't forget you. They'll respect the fact that you're doing the work on yourself. What you should be afraid of is staying so busy, so plugged in everybody else's agenda that you never build your own. Think about your environment for a second. Where do you spend your time? Who are you around the most? What kind of energy surrounds you day in and day out? If your environment is cluttered with negativity, distractions, and pressure to stay the same, how can you ever reinvent yourself? You can't plant seeds in concrete. You need fertile soil. And sometimes that means removing yourself from the concrete jungle you've been standing in. I'm telling you right now, creating space doesn't always feel glamorous. It might mean you spend more time alone. It might mean you cut back on socializing, on scrolling, on giving pieces of yourself away to people who don't even value it. It might mean you sit in silence and wrestle with your own thoughts. But that's the price of reinvention. Because in that silence, in that space, you start to see who you really are and who you could be. Don't get it twisted, though. Creating space doesn't mean being lazy or hiding from responsibility. It means being intentional about where your energy goes. It means saying no when you've been saying yes to everything. It means choosing to invest your time, things that will build you, not break you. And if that means you've got to disappear from certain people or certain habits, then so be it. There's a reason why every great transformation in history starts in isolation. Athletes go into training camps, writers retreat to cabins, leaders take time to reflect. Why? Because transformation needs focus. And you can't focus if your attention is scattered in 1,000 different directions. You can't focus if you're always available to everybody else. You've got to make yourself unavailable for a season so you can come back stronger, clearer, sharper. But here's the problem. Most of you are scared of space. You're scared of being alone with yourself. You don't like silence because silence forces you to face the truth. Silence shows you the parts of your life you've been avoiding. Silence makes you realize that maybe you've been living on autopilot, run on, but not actually going anywhere. And that's why you keep filling your life with noise. But here, you can't heal in the same chaos that broke you. You can't transform in the same environment that kept you stuck. When you disappear and create space, you start hearing things differently. You start seeing things differently. Suddenly you realize the things you thought were urgent weren't urgent at all. You realize some of the people you thought you couldn't live without don't even check on you when you're gone. And that's a blessing because now you know who's really for you and who's just around for the convenience. This space you create becomes your foundation. It's where clarity comes. It's where vision is born. It's where the new you starts to take shape. And once you've given yourself that space, you'll never look at life the same way again. Because you'll realize you don't need constant validation. You don't need constant noise. You don't need to be everywhere and everything to everybody. What you need is to protect your peace so you can build your power. And I'll be real with you, this won't be easy. The first few days, you'll feel restless. You'll want to reach for your phone, reach for the distractions, reach for the people who always fill your time. But if you push through that discomfort, if you stay in the silence long enough, something powerful happens. You reconnect with yourself. You reconnect with your purpose. And when that happens, you come out of that space with a fire, with a direction, with a hunger that nobody can take from you. So don't run from creating space. Embrace it. Don't be afraid to disappear for a season. Don't be afraid to unplug, to step back, to say no. Because every second you clear out the noise, you make room for the new version of you to rise. And when you come back, you won't just come back different. You'll come back unrecognizable, transformed from the inside out. It's time to create the space that your future self deserves. Now that you've let go of the old version of yourself, now that you've created space by stepping back, it's time to design a new identity. This is where the transformation starts to take shape. This is where you stop drifting and start building. And I need you to catch this. Your identity is not something you stumble into, it's something you choose. Too many people are walking around as if who they are is permanent, as if they have no say in it. That's a lie. You can design who you want to be. You can make conscious decisions every single day that add up to a completely different version of you. But here's the problem. Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, they do the same things they did yesterday, they think the same thoughts, they hang around the same people, they run the same routines, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Nothing changes because you're not designing anything. You're just repeating. If you want transformation, you can't afford to live by default anymore. You've got to live by design. And design doesn't happen by accident. You've got to be intentional about it. You've got to ask yourself some tough questions. Who do I want to be? What values do I want to stand on? What habits do I want to be known for? What kind of energy do I want to bring into every room I walk into? You can't answer those questions once and be done with it. You've got to wrestle with them, write them down, reflect on them, and then build your life around them. When I say design a new identity, I'm not talking about faking it. I'm not talking about pretending to be someone you're not. I'm talking about deciding to align your actions with the best version of yourself, the version that's already inside you, waiting for you to wake it up. Because let's be real, you already know there's more in you. You feel it. That's why you're here. That's why you want to disappear and transform. You're tired of living beneath your potential. Designing your new identity is about pulling that potential out of hiding and making it visible. And it's not going to happen all at once. Transformation is built brick by brick, choice by choice. You don't wake up one day and magically become disciplined. You wake up and decide to get up on time. You don't suddenly become confident. You decide to show up, even when you're nervous. You don't instantly become successful. You decide to do the work, even when nobody's clapping for you. Those small decisions are how you design the new you. Some of you need to stop waiting for a perfect moment to reinvent yourself. There's no perfect moment. The perfect moment is the moment you decide. The moment you stop saying on day and start saying day one. That's when everything shifts. But you've got to be willing to commit to the process, because designing a new identity isn't about a single choice. It's about building consistency around that choice. And listen, people are going to challenge you when you start designing a new identity. They'll say, that's not you. Of course they'll say that because all they've ever known is the old you. They're comfortable with that version. They're familiar with that version. But hear me, you're not building your new self for them. You're building it for your purpose, for your future, for the vision you've got burning inside you. Let them talk. You keep building. Think about it like this every day. You are casting votes for the type of person you want to become. Every action is a vote. When you choose to work out instead of sleeping, that's a vote for the new you. When you choose to study instead of waste time, that's a vote for the new you. When you choose to say no to negativity, no to laziness, no to distractions, that's a vote for the new you. The more votes you cast, the stronger that new identity becomes. And eventually you won't just be trying to be that person, you will be that person. This is where discipline comes in. Discipline is the architect of your new identity. Discipline is what keeps you aligned with the person you're trying to become, even when your feelings don't agree. Because feelings will lie to you. Feelings will tell you to stay in bed, to skip the workout, to quit when it gets hard. But discipline, that's your anchor. Discipline says, no, this is who I am now. This is what I do now. And when discipline takes over, transformation is inevitable. And don't think it's just about routines and habits. Your new identity is also about mindset. You've got to start talking to yourself differently. Stop saying, I'm not good enough, or I can't change, or this is just who I am. No, start affirming the new you. Start speaking like the person you're becoming. If you don't change the way you talk to yourself, you'll sabotage every attempt at transformation. Words shape your world. Speak like you've already stepped into that new identity. And let me warn you, it's going to feel awkward first. You're going to feel like you're pretending. That's normal. That's what happens when you step outside of the comfort zone of your old self. But you've got to push past that awkward stage. Keep showing up. Keep practicing. Keep living as the new you, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because eventually that new identity won't feel new anymore. It'll feel natural. It'll be who you are. But the choice is yours. You can keep recycling the old identity, keep repeating the same story, keep settling for the same results. Or you can step up and design the version of you that your future requires. The version that walks with confidence, the version that's disciplined, the version that's focused, the version that's unstoppable. That version is waiting on you to decide. So don't waste another day living by default. Stop letting the old script run your life. Grab the pen, write the new script, and live it out with everything you've got. It's time to design the identity that matches the destiny you've been chasing. This is the moment where everything comes together. You've let go of the old self. You've created space. You've designed a new identity. And now it's time to re-emerge of purpose. This is the part most people struggle with because disappearing is easier than returning. Reinvention feels safer when it's private, when nobody's watching, when nobody's judging. But the whole point of disappearing and transforming is not to hide forever. It's to step back into the world as someone new, someone powerful, someone intentional. You can't spend your whole life in the shadows. At some point, you've got to step into the light and show up as the person you've been working so hard to become. See, the old version of you used to move through life without direction. You reacted to things instead of creating things. You lived by accident instead of on assignment. But when you re-emerge, you don't come back just to take up space. You come back with a mission. You come back knowing who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. And when you carry that kind of purpose, people feel it before you even say a word. But here's the truth. You can't tiptoe back in. Too many of you want to transform privately and then come back halfway, hiding your light because you don't want people to notice the difference. That's not re-emerging. That's shrinking. When you come back, you've got to own it. You've got to walk in a room with that new energy, that new confidence, that new clarity, and not apologize for it. Because the world doesn't need a watered down version of you. The world needs the full version of you. The version that's aligned with purpose. And listen, people are going to talk. Some will celebrate you, others will criticize you, and many won't even understand you. That's okay. You didn't go through this process so everybody could understand. You went through this process so you could understand yourself. You went through it so you could live a life that matches your calling, not everybody else's expectations. So stop worrying about who approves of your transformation. Purpose doesn't need permission. Re-emerging with purpose also means responsibility. It means you can't just say, I've changed, and then go right back to living the same way. No. Purpose requires you to live differently, to move differently, to think differently. You don't get to go back to old environments and play the same role you used to play. You don't get to lower your standards just because other people are comfortable at that level. When you come back, you hold yourself accountable to the new identity you designed. You walk in alignment even when it's hard. And let me be real with you. It will be hard. The old temptations will come knocking. The old patterns will try to creep back in. People will try to pull you back into the version of yourself they're most familiar with. But that's where purpose becomes your anchor. Purpose reminds you why you disappeared in the first place. Purpose reminds you what you sacrificed for, what you fought for, what you built in the dark. And if you keep that purpose in front of you, nothing can drag you back. Emerging also means influence. Whether you realize it or not, somebody's watching you. Somebody's waiting on you to step into your purpose. Because when you do, it gives them permission to do the same. You've got no idea how many people are stuck in their own cycles, waiting for someone like you to show them that change is possible. When you re-emerge with clarity and confidence, you become living proof that transformation is real. And that proof can light the fire in someone else. But don't get it twisted. Purpose is not just about motivating others. It's about impact. It's about taking the gifts, the talents, the lessons you've learned, and putting them to work. It's about creating something, building something, serving something bigger than yourself. Because the transformation you've gone through is not just for you. It's for the people connected to you, the ones who will benefit from the stronger, wiser, more focused version of you. And here's the thing. When you re-emerge, you're not starting from zero. You're starting from growth. Every tear you cried in the dark, every sacrifice you made when nobody was looking, every moment you wanted to quit, but didn't, that's equity. That's experience. That's strength. You come back carrying lessons, scars, and wisdom that make you dangerous in the best way possible. The old you couldn't handle what's ahead, but the transformed you. You're ready. And I need you to stop being afraid of taking up space with this new version of yourself. Too often, people downplay their growth because they don't want to make others uncomfortable. Stop doing that. Stop shrinking yourself to fit in rooms you've already outgrown. Stop apologizing for the progress you've made. You worked too hard to hide it, When you re-emerge, you stand tall, you speak bold, you live loud, not arrogant, not prideful, but unapologetically purposeful. Because here's the reality: life is short. You don't have forever to keep disappearing, forever to keep preparing, forever to keep waiting. At some point, you've got to step out and live. At some point, you've got to put the work on display. At some point, you've got to let the world see what disappearing and transforming really looks like. And that point is now. So if you've done the work, if you've shed the old self, if you've carved out the space, if you've designed the identity, then it's time. Stop second guessing, stop hesitating, stop questioning whether you're ready. You are ready. Everything you've been through prepared you for this moment. The world doesn't need the person you used to be. It needs the person you've become. It's time to reemerge with purpose and show the world exactly who you are.